The Digital Photography Cafe show is brought to you by Focus Pyramid, the autofocus lens calibration tool for your camera.
Welcome to the Digital Photography Cafe show. Join hosts Trevor Current and Joseph Christina as they serve up the hottest photography news and commentary.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This is episode 236. I'm Joseph Christina here with my co-host, Trevor Current. How's it going, Trev? How's it going?
Doing all right after a little bit of a break here.
Yes, a well-deserved break. We needed a little bit of time off, right? We had to spend some time with the family. We had to, there's a lot of business stuff that we had to take care of. So, we have to apologize to you guys. We've been kind of away for a week or two, but we're back. We're back, right?
Yeah, that's right. We're back. We've got some good things in the works for the new year. So, right now we're going to kind of, wrap up this year and in preparation for the new year. So really some good things working.
Absolutely. What do you got going on over there on your side?
I've been keeping busy generating new business. That's been my really my focus now as we approach the new year. It's really got to be about building that business,
Right.
So many of us, and me included, become complacent dealing with current clients and working on projects that you don't get out and do sales.
Right.
And when your live projects finish up and you don't have anything to replace them, that obviously can be a big problem.
Yeah, I think we all get complacent, right? That's just kind of just the way it is. I'm the inventor kind of guy, so I'm constantly making new products in my mind and jotting down schematics and specs and all kinds of stuff. And then to actually bring something to fruition is always very difficult to, as you're saying, to bring it to completion. For me, just recently, I didn't think this was going to actually happen until the beginning of 2017, but I just got a package in yesterday of the brand new version 2 of the PRT minis, and I was just so excited. They came out absolutely perfect, absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to share it. I'm going to do a vlog about it probably today or tomorrow and kind of show everybody what they came out looking like. And it's just a really, really cool tool. It's one of those things that the PRT I've used in studio. It's a really big color card, basically like say a gray card but on crack, with my dual access color control on it that just really works out great. And I've taken them to weddings and all kinds of stuff, but it's a little bit big, so I made that mini for those people like myself that want to get color right but on the go. So they're at a wedding or they're at an event, some kind of shoot somewhere, maybe even underwater, wherever it is, but it's literally the size of a credit card. It fits into your wallet or on like a little lanyard. You could strap it to anything. So, and it just simply works. It really works out great. So I'm really excited. I can't even believe that they're actually here. I could have swore they were going to be here, by, the beginning of 2017, but who knows? Maybe I'll get some out for you guys, at, a reduced price for stocking stuffers or something. Right. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah. It might actually have old artwork, not the new inserts, but, that's all right. The product will be the new product. So really, really exciting for me. So anyways.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So moving on, Corel, right?
Yeah. So as you guys know, we've been following the show for a while. Corel has been a big contributor to our previous giveaways.
Right.
They were there for Photo Plus Expo, this past one. They were there for our 200th episode. And we really appreciate their support. For Photo Plus Expo, they came in as a premier sponsor, which we really appreciated. And they are extending their sponsorship and coming on as a sponsor of our show for like the next half a year or so.
Right.
So that is really great. That's exciting news. That's good for us. As you know, it costs money to do these shows. And for the most part, we don't really earn an income from our show. But we still have overhead. You know, we have server costs, we have bandwidth costs, we have all of these other things that so many people don't even think about.
Right.
You know, when they're thinking about content, they're just thinking about everything is free YouTube. But this show actually started as an audio only podcast, and the majority of our listeners, the biggest part of our audience, is still audio.
Right.
From RSS feeds, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, all these different audio sources. That's where they're consuming our show.
Right.
So we have to serve that content. We have to have data, we have to have a server. We have to have the bandwidth for all these MP3 files going out. So there's operating expenses, and Corel has come on board to help lighten the load.
Yeah, offset that. Absolutely. And,
That's right.
Absolutely. We thank Corel for doing so. Talking about Corel, I remember using a lot of you guys out there. Let me preface it with you guys are using Adobe products, right? Because that's kind of like the leader right now. Well, in the past, when all of this started, that wasn't the case. Corel has actually been around longer than Adobe. That's right. Previous Adobe, it was Corel. If you were in the creative industry, everything you were using, everything you were doing was basically Corel. And that was the fact also with you, right? With your working.
Yeah, back in 1990, when I got out of art school and started at my first job, they only had PCs. I mean, back then we didn't do graphics on computers. I mean, that really wasn't even a thing yet. It wasn't until, the 93, 94, that time frame where we actually started using computers for production. We had the big ass computers, the Veritype machines.
Right.
I mean, they're more like terminals. And that were doing typesetting and stuff. Those were the types of things that were being used in the graphics business back then. But my bosses were PC users, and they got Corel Draw on one of the machines, and they had it in the art room, and they said, "Hey, let's start playing with this." And I'm like, I have no idea. I know nothing about computers.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, it's no problem. You can learn it. So yeah, it was really funny. I mean, it was a slow, antiquated PC in today's terms, and running Corel, and that was the first program I used to create vector graphics with.
Right.
And it's really funny because I had never even used the mouse before. And they were right-handed. I was left-handed. So they had the mouse on the right side of the keyboard. So honestly, I didn't know any difference. And I just started using the mouse, and I was all like uncoordinated at first, like we all are. And I'm like trying to use it, but I actually wound up training my brain and my right arm to use the mouse. And now it's kind of funny because, shortly after that, they came out with left-handed mice.
Right.
Right-handed mice. And now they're kind of universal. But so now I still use my right hand for the mouse, and I do really intricate, fine detail work with it. And then with the other hand, I'm writing down on a piece of paper, like kind of multitasking at the same time. So
that works out good. Yeah. I'm, talking about Corel Draw. I mean, as of today, they have Corel Draw. What is it? X8, I believe. And it's about just under $500. So, and it's only for the PC. Really great package. It does, just like before, you do your design graphics on it. You do layouts. You do some photo editing, as well as doing even website design and stuff. So it was a very interesting package. And still now, that was from the 90s. Even now, we're 2016, going to be 2017. It's still around, kind of bigger and better. What's interesting too is they've also done CAD. So Corelcad was around for quite some time, where CAD has been the mainstay for a lot of the people that are building devices or doing architecture or doing the internals. And Corelcad was a very big piece of software way back in the day, and even still today, $660 for the software. And you can do both 2D drawings, 3D drawings. And of course, all of your 3D printing through it. So, if you're an architect, some of those architects out there are using CAD through Corel. So,
yeah. And, Corel Draw, as well as maybe this Corelcad, but I know Corel Draw is widely used in sign shops.
Right.
A lot of the sign shops are all PC based. They're not Mac based. And that's because of the software that's used to run their plotters, their cutters.
Right.
and a lot of the big printers. You know, the big inkjet printers, that's universal. But a lot of the cutters still use a PC-based software. So a lot of the graphics work being done in sign shops is being done in Corel and not Adobe.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. One of my favorite products that I would say the de facto painting product. Now, you guys know I went to the Art Institute of South Florida for commercial art, advertising, design, and photography. And this was way back at the, the beginning 90s, 91, 92. And it just started getting kind of into it, like you were saying, Trevor, with the software. I used to really, really enjoy painting. And as I was, I did fine art too. But once I was able to start painting with Corel Painter, everything changed. That the way Corel Painter was formulated, it actually felt like you're actually holding a brush, especially using like a Wacom tablet or something like that. It felt like you're holding a brush and actually laying down that color. Maybe it was gouache, or maybe it was an oil paint or
I hated gouache.
Oh yeah. But you would get that feel to it, and it was really almost revolutionary. And still today, I mean, $400 for Corel Painter. It's still out there. It's absolutely I would say by far I would use that 100% over using Photoshop. I mean, using Photoshop for doing any kind of painting stuff, because the way Painter works is it's specifically, set up for painting. So all of those brushes and the way it lays down that color and the way it mixes is just perfect. It's just absolutely perfect. So I just enjoy it. Have you ever tried that yet? The Painter?
No, I have not, and it's kind of interesting. I, like most, for any type of painting needs, just use the tools in Photoshop. Right. And, while they work well, when it comes to digitally painting, yes, Painter I would say is superior for sure, because that's what the program is designed to do. I mean, but I never really, when I was in art school, I did a lot of painting. I really, really enjoyed it. For me, it was therapeutic. It was that break that I needed from the design track that I was part of, and I enjoyed painting and the freedom of it, but I hated the mess. I mean, I am a technical guy, and I don't like getting messy. I mean, I had my rocker jeans with the rips and covered in paint and stuff, and I wore those for my oil classes because it never fails. You get paint on your pants. So I just started decorating them,
Yeah, that works.
And that stuff doesn't wash out either once it dries. So,
no.
But yeah, I mean, as far as painting digitally, I mean, that was never really my thing. But I know even a lot of today's comic books, a lot of the drawings are still done by hand. Right. Then they're scanned in, redrawn, and then they're painted in. So in this scenario, Painter would fit that bill. I know a lot of people use Photoshop, but for that more technical approach to painting, I think you could go either. But for that fine art approach, I mean, I think Painter is a really good way
and just
to go.
We gave away, I think on the last giveaway, a program called Particle Shop, and it's a plug-in to Photoshop. It was, I think its base is through Painter, but it is absolutely unbelievable, guys. If you guys have never taken a look at it, it's only like $39 or something. If you've never taken a look at Particle Shop, definitely take a look at it, download it. They might have a trial or whatever. Maybe you even got it free from us during one of our giveaways, but it's just amazing, being able to put like sparkles on stuff, but do it in a algorithmic way. So it kind of like three-dimensionally works. I can't even explain it. You have to almost use that program to really understand it. But it's really nice. It's a really
It gives
cool
it more
way.
of a natural feel as opposed to replicating something by hand.
Yeah. It doesn't feel digital. It feels very organic. And that's one of the things that, like I said, that I liked about Painter. It feels very organic. It feels like you're actually painting with a brush. It doesn't matter what kind of brush, a really hard type of, let's say, a stippling brush, or maybe even a fan brush or something soft, or maybe you're working with watercolors and you can feel that smoothness and you can see the way the ink or the paint kind of meanders around and mixes on the canvas. So, Really, really cool stuff. Now, one of the things that I've been using for many, many years is Lightroom, right? I probably have about 2 million photos in Lightroom over the course of the decade. I don't know, many, many, many years worth of photos that have been brought into Lightroom for cataloging. One of the programs that I started using when it came into beta was Aftershot from Corel. And I really, really liked that program. And I did a couple of videos on it, and I kind of told you guys why I liked it. The bottom line with Aftershot is if you don't have, or you don't want, let's say Lightroom, to buy it, and you don't want to pay for Adobe's continuous, ad nauseum, perpetual, ding every month, like leasing a car, you can just get Aftershot, and it just simply works.
Yeah, and Corel also has their video software as well. A lot of people have, especially on Macs, have been using Final Cut. On PCs and Macs, a lot of people have been using the Adobe Premiere. And then there's a lot of smaller video editors out there. But Corel has a couple really nice ones. We've given away Pinnacle Studio 20 Ultimate in the last giveaway. So if anybody's played with that, I'm sure you know that it's a pretty good piece of software. But they have another one called Videostudio Pro X9. And this gives you the ability to do multicam editing and all kinds of really great stuff, right? That you would need that real high-end piece of software to be able to do in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I've been video editing for many years now, I've used every package, from Avid, and then from Avid I went to Final Cut. Then from Final Cut they lost their mind and did Final Cut X, which was just horrid. Right. So then I moved over to Adobe's, Premiere, and from there went back to Final Cut once X kind of came together again. I mean, I've used everything, and the one thing that stands out is the whole idea, like you're saying, with multicam. To do multicam and do it right, you used to have to pay a lot of money to get a piece of software that will actually do multicam.
Right.
But like you were saying there with that Videostudio Pro, that X9, I mean, it'll do like four camera type of sequencing, for like $55 or something. I mean, that to me is just craziness. I mean, I remember, getting Premiere and getting that whole entire suite. It was cost over, I think it was like $1,500 or something when I ended up buying that. But it just amazes me. And that's one thing that I really like about Corel. They've been doing it since the 90s, early 90s. They put together packages that are either extremely high end or packages that are extremely affordable, that have a lot of, let's say, meat and potatoes for your money. So I've always liked the products that they've created, and it's they've been doing it for such a long time, and they just keep on getting better and better and better. For me, I liked, if I was someone says to me, what would I use today to do some basic editing, photo editing. Number one, if I had a Mac, I would use the built-in software on the Mac. But if I had a PC, absolutely, hands down, Pinnacle Studios, because it does a really good job for a reasonable cost.
Right. Yeah. Now they've been around a long time. I mean, I even think back to the WordPerfect days, right? I mean, that was the de facto word processor before Microsoft came in with Word and Office. So yeah, they've been around for a long time. They've got a lot of great software. I know many people in today's space, the diverse space, have kind of forgotten about Corel and their existence, and because we're in the creative space, right? So everything in creative space, we always think Adobe, but Corel is still a big player in the software market. So yeah, we're excited to have them come aboard as a sponsor of the show. And with all of our sponsors, we put together a nice little ad spot for them. So why don't we take a look at that now? It's no secret, there's never enough time, especially when it comes to editing our photos. Whether you're a pro and time is money, or have just fallen in love with photography, imagine how much better it would be if your edits were done sooner, so you can get back where you belong, behind your camera.
Make that dream a reality with AfterShot Pro 3 from Corel, the world's fastest way to sort, select, and perfect your photos. How fast? Try up to 4 times faster than Lightroom.
AfterShot works to fit your workflow by adding new cameras over the web, so you only get what you need. No bloat from unneeded profiles. Create your own plugins, add custom lens corrections, plus find all kinds of presets right in-app.
For just $79 with no subscription, you can't go wrong. Don't sit on the fence, try it out. Visit aftershotpro.com/DPC to get your free 30-day trial for Windows, Mac, or Linux, and try before you buy.
So we are looking forward to working with Corel over the next year, and we really hope that you guys at least give AfterShot Pro 3 a try. You've got that link now. Go try it, download it. You'll get it for 30 days, and check it out. It's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's about it, Trev. I think we need to get out of here for another week. Now, what we're going to do going forward, just so you kind of get a schedule, we're going to try to do a couple more shows before the end of the year.
Right.
And then what we're going to do is once January 1st hits, everything's going to be going back to the way it's always been. So you're going to get a show every week going forward on all sorts of topics for in the photographic industry, right? So it could be news,
yes,
reviews, how-tos. It could be anything having to do with it. A lot of it will be commentary because there's going to be a lot happening. And coming up in February, we have WPPI that's right around the corner. I'm sure we're going to be talking about that. So there's a lot that's going to be coming soon.
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely entering trade show season. We're going to be starting out with Imaging USA.
Right.
And there's Shutterfest is coming, I believe, and then WPPI, and yeah, lots and lots. All right, so we are out of here. So Joe, if our listeners and viewers want to connect with you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
All right, guys. So you can find me on Twitter, and that's @JosephChristina, and that's Christina with no H. And of course, find my channel where I do my vlog over on YouTube at youtube.com/JChristinaPhoto.
Excellent. And you can connect with me on Twitter. It's @TrevorCurrent or over at our website, currentphotographer.com.
All right, everyone, we are out of here for yet another week. You can get all the show notes from this episode by visiting digitalphotographycafe.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/DPhotoCafe. And we'll see you next week. Take care, guys.
You've been watching the Digital Photography Cafe show with Trevor Current and Joseph Christina. Subscribe to our YouTube channel with any compatible device by visiting youtube.com/DPhotoCafe. Be sure to subscribe to our audio feed through iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Xbox Music apps or through RSS. Visit digitalphotographycafe.com for show notes and to connect with your hosts.